y'all, we are back with another winning Wednesday. I feel like I ain't see y'all in a while. I mean, it's been what, 2 weeks since I last been on here. So yeah, how everybody feeling? What's been going on? I can tell y'all a little bit about me while I'm waiting for y'all to comment. Let me pull up my YouTube too. Yeah, but how everybody they been going? Dang, I look cute on here. You know how you gotta look on yourself on another screen? I thought it was like cloudy based off what I see, but I look cute. Hey Santana, hey Bree, hey Fatima, hey Raquel, hey Bless, hey Kayasia, hey Dante, hey Antonio, hey Reality, hey Sid. Did I say hey to Santana already? Yeah, I said hey to Santana. Hey Naeem, hey Kayla, hey Bree. I said hey to Bree too. Hey Charity. But yeah, yo, what's been going on with y'all? What's been going on? Trying to think of I believe this week is timesheet week for all of the year-round people that's on. I'll be sending all of the timesheets to y'all separately, so y'all can fill them out. I think we wanted them by Thursday. Let me just check though. It is May the 18th today. Yep, your timesheets due this week, so I'm gonna send y'all the timesheets separately, and please fill them out by Thursday. Yo, Bree, I definitely just seen Bree in New York. The pictures is given. The pictures are definitely given. Thank you, Reality. Yo. All right. Oh, Gemma, by the way, I posted your voting link in the Spellman group chat. And Charity, I gotta put yours in there too, so they can vote for you, because that's how with my grant competition, my mom shared it to like the Spellman parent group chat. She posted it on Facebook, and I put the link in there. So I don't know if it helped. I do. What's good? Okay, so look. Normally for your timesheets, I was filling them out. All 24 y'all, I think I was filling all of your timesheets out. So this time you're filling your own timesheets out and you're turning them in. So I'm not sure if Ms. Mo told them to send them to her or send them to me or both of us. But y'all gonna send them over. We're gonna make sure y'all did everything right and then send them to the people that, need to be sent to. So y'all gonna be doing your own timesheets this time. But yeah, yo, okay. So let me just catch y'all up on my life, because last time that I came, I think I was just coming back home. No, I gotta send it to y'all. So, cause I just got my account back and everything, and just got back home. I'm gonna send them back to y'all. I'm gonna try to send them tonight, but at the latest I send them tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna really try to send them tonight so y'all can just get it out the way and send them to us tomorrow. Not too low when you see the head, but I need a new background because I'm tired of this, and I need a ring light because I'm tired of the light that I'm using. But yeah, last time I came on here, I had just came back home. Yeah, I just came back home. Today is what, the 18th? Yeah, I just came back home that week, so it was the 4th. So now I gotta catch y'all up on my whole life in 2 weeks, real quick, y'all. All right. So since I've been back, I really did not take as much like me time as I should have. And I'm not trying to get back into how I was last year with trying to be all productive and all of that, trying to do everything. Because when I was gone, I really missed Baltimore. And like every time I came back on breaks, like I felt like I was coming back real frequently. I wanted to do stuff or volunteer or stuff like that. So when I came back on a Tuesday. I did all my finals and stuff by that Wednesday. And then I think Thursday I had a panel to do early that morning with Charity. I did the panel that morning. I think after that I might have chilled a little bit, but I still had like other little things I had to do. Friday was my first day going to Matthew Henson. So I went to Matthew A. Henson probably like, I think 10 o'clock to 2:40. I was there, and I'm like, like trying to introduce myself to people because y'all know Little Leagues was starting that following Monday. So I'm like, all right, cool, met everybody, stuff like that. Boom. Then I think after that I came home. I don't think we had Focus Friday though. Watch Focus Friday and all that. So the following week, I went to Matthew A. Henson. Well, last week, every day, like every day, like for real. Monday, I was there from 11 to 6, so a good 7 hours, and then after that, I think the next day I came 8:30, and then after that, I tried my best to just keep coming 7:30. So as a result, I really haven't been doing too much resting, I guess, and I need to kind of like catch up on it. So I'm gonna try my best to do that within the next couple of days. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be, I think, co-hosting an event. Not sure if y'all know Miss Nakia, but she helped some of y'all with the Be More Me panel, and she also has her own organization called She's Well Network. So she wanted me to co-host her networking event tomorrow. So I'm supposed to be doing that tomorrow, later in the evening. And I'm gonna try to take tomorrow as like a rest day. And then Friday, I'm not going to make the Henson as well because I got something to attend to. But definitely make sure that y'all are getting the proper rest that y'all need. I definitely learned that with dealing with these kids because I don't know. Maybe I underestimated how much it would take to be dealing with like kids all day. But like you be real drained and exhausted by like the middle of the day. Like especially if you don't eat breakfast or you didn't get enough sleep. Like you definitely going to be tired. So the volunteering there has definitely been a challenge, but it's also been rewarding too. And I feel like my love for the community just keep me coming back. Like every time I'm sitting, we having like me out on the mall, we might be having conversations about what's going on during the day. It keep me going back. But today we're not talking about me. Nobody really said what was going on with them, and I'ma just assume that y'all was ignoring me. But like, drop what y'all been doing for the last couple weeks on here. Even though I'm on every Wednesday, I still want to know like what's been going on that y'all haven't told. So make sure y'all vote for Charity and Gemma for the grant competition that they're doing right now. It's a lot of contestants, but if we all vote every single day and verify your vote, we gonna get our girls up there. So yeah. Zion said, "Oh, I'm stressed with this prom and track stuff." Zion, I seen you was doing your thing. Like I was on the Smoothies page on Instagram, but you've been doing your thing with the track. And if you need help with prom stuff, I really want to relive my whole like Miss Prom experience. So if you need help with that, let me know. Kayla said, "I'm doing okay. I've been tired. My bad. Let me pin my comments because y'all know how I get." Reality said, "I just got my driver's license the day before yesterday and prom is next week." Okay, congratulations. And hopefully I'm trying to get all of your prom pictures, all of your pictures. Hopefully you'll post them so I can reshare them and all that. Yes, ignore me. Gemma said, "I've been busy. I don't think I could type it all." Okay. I feel you, Gemma. I feel you. And I had a presentation one of these days, I think. I had that presentation. I had a presentation on Wednesday that I had came back. That same one on Wednesday. Well, last one on Wednesday. Kanye just said preparing for finals. Good luck to y'all. I already know how it is. I wanted to pull my hair out. That week that I came back. That's Wednesday. I did 2 papers that night. And somehow your girl got 82, but I can't tell you how because them essays, I did them, but they was not to the best of my ability. I was just over it. So get some rest. And sometimes when you feel drained during your finals, just take a step back, take a nap, with some, get yourself back right. Because I know for me, if I'm not in the right state of mind, it's gonna take me a way longer time for me to do the assignment. So yeah, I'm not even trying to think about expellment until August. Charity said college has been stressing me. I don't want to take out loans, but if I have to, shoot. Then prom is just too much. Yeah, I've been helping all of the hobbies that need it with like college stuff. I try to send as many scholarships as I can or things that I see to make the process less stressful, but I don't know. have some faith. Everything is going to turn out how it's supposed to be. No opportunities is going to skip over you. Like, it's certain things you also just tell yourself too to put your mind at ease, because we don't need to be stressing about everything. Like, we have a lot of things we need to prepare for, but you know, as long as you prepare for them and you do everything that you can say you did your best, and that sometimes I just got to be okay with that. Jimmy said, yes, y'all went from 70 to 130 once people started verifying they voted. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I put my votes in yesterday and today. So I'm going to definitely try to share with some more people. Fatima said, congrats. Oh, and Sid, I seen Sid got her license too. So congrats to Sid. I seen she posted it, I think earlier. Jimmy said, my prom is next week, so I'm excited. Yo, the way that some of your prom dates is just like overlapping, it's like, I feel like it's so unfair, because how am I gonna go to everybody's send off? Like, y'all didn't even think about that. Like, why can't everybody just have one big group send off if y'all got the same day? And that way I can see everybody. But now I'm gonna have to pick and choose where I'm going because of that. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm still gonna repost your pictures and stuff like that. Okay, Antonio. Let's see the suit. Let's see the suit. Send a picture of the suit or something, because you said that the suit gonna be hitting. That really is. Y'all got graduations and all that coming up. Oh my god, it's so many of y'all. Hey Nyasia. Bless said she put her vote in for yesterday too. Cool. Jimmy said, I think I'll go live on my page and have somebody record so y'all can see. Gemma, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yes, we need that. So I'm gonna be on the live. Or but Gemma, you also like up the street though. So if you do a send off from your house, we gonna do. I'll be there. I'll be up the street. But yeah, go ahead, do the live. But all right, y'all. So I kind of got y'all better be deep. Cause hold on, cause I gotta really address this comment. Y'all better be deep, yo. Because the way that I just be in Atlanta, like so far away like that, like I think that would be the perfect thing for all of my Baltimore people to be there. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I love my whole Horse Mouse family and like Baltimore, period. Like, put on, period. So yeah, y'all gotta see what's going on with that. If Miss Joni got the funds, y'all better tell her, yeah, hook y'all up with a little Southwest or something. She probably gonna be on here like, now Cam, stop cussing at me. But yeah, y'all, make sure y'all get your money together for the graduation now. Save some money per year and y'all be just fine. Get your little flight, Horse Mouse Airbnb or something like that, cause yeah. Yeah, see, Jim, I'll be there. Send me the little the information, the time, and all that, cause that's only up the street. But all right, Joe. So today, I spent like 15 minutes talking about doing catching up. But today we're going to be talking about resilience and perseverance. And I really, every time I come on here, I try to do something that's relevant. And it seems like every time we all facing the same things. Like I said, I've been working at the school, volunteering at the school too, y'all. Y'all don't know how hard it is to get up at 6:30 to be at a school at 7:30 when you're not even in school anymore. Like, it's so hard. Like, getting up for 9 a.m. classes, even that felt like it had a little bit more flow. But now it's like I'm really trying to push myself to get up early in the morning. So let's talk about the definitions of these things. I know pretty much y'all already know. What y'all laughing at? A lot of y'all already know what these things mean, but let's just go over them again. So the textbook definition of resilient is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And we about to talk about perseverance real quick. Perseverance. Steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So, Let me know what you think as to why those things are important. Let me know why y'all think those things are important. Perseverance and resilience. And then I'm going to kind of like talk about why I feel like it's so important, especially considering my experiences lately. And I got a couple examples. I got the school, I got little leaders, and I got chaos movies. Like, for real. These two things is what I need. So why do y'all think these are so important, and even how do y'all use those in your daily life? Okay. While y'all doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and share mine. Because every time I start talking, that's when all the comments come in, and then y'all be saying I be reading the comments slow. So I'm gonna try my best to go through mine and then hurry up and read the comments, because y'all be coming for me and I don't appreciate it. So for perseverance, I feel like sometimes we always want to be in things that we don't necessarily want to be in, but we gotta be in it to get to our goal. So let me think of a good example. One thing that I really don't like doing, but I do it anyway, so I can go to the school, is get up early in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Like, I know that about myself. Like, it takes a little while for me to get up and get acclimated to my day, and it's really difficult for me to get up in the morning when it's so early. But because I got an end goal in mind, like, I'm community oriented, I love the kids there. Like, I don't know. Y'all know how sometimes y'all be like, "Oh, hey, Asada," y'all be like, well, I'm that's not even relevant. I feel like just going there and seeing like how I can change like their exposure to people and to mentorship and stuff like that, that keep me going. So even though I gotta wake up at 6:30 and make that sacrifice, and it's difficult for me, I know that by the end of the day, I felt like I made an impact in somebody's life. And I know, I don't know. Yes, I'm fed up, super fed up. Like 6:30. Y'all remember? Let me use this as an example. Y'all remember I was trying to beat Miss Joni and Jules every single day? I was setting an alarm every day, and no lie, I still looked sleep on the Jewel. Everybody's saying it. I looked sleepy. That's why I went back to the times that felt comfortable for me, but y'all look like I look better, because being in college and then getting up real early like that, like, I don't know, it might have been 5 or 6 a.m. that I was getting up when I was at school trying to beat Miss Joni. I looked terrible. And I'm like, the fact that nobody told me is like, somebody could have told me that I look crazy on my jewels. Yeah, right. One eye open on a jewel. Crazy. So perseverance, boom. That's why it's important, because we still got to get our goals done, and sometimes we got to do things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we need to do in order for us to get to where we want to be. And the higher goal, I guess, for me going into schools and stuff like that is, I don't know, it came to me last week, but on Focus Friday, I was talking about having my own elementary school, because I feel like things really do need to like switch and change, and sometimes you just gotta be that change. And I'm not gonna say I'm going to own a school tomorrow or anything, or I even know about the process, but I feel like those years in elementary school is so important. Like, it's either a hit or miss, especially with us being in the city and it being so much violence. Like, we gotta get them now when they're like, they need to build awareness on certain issues and certain topics, because once middle school come, I don't know, things been real crazy lately. Like, we've been having shootings and kids bringing guns to school. They stabbing people. The other day, I seen these kids bank a parent, because the two kids was fighting. She was wrong because she hit one of the kids because their child was fighting. But after that, they banked her. So, like, I don't know. Even though that parent was wrong, like, kids do that, like, don't know what things to do, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's just sometimes it's really sad to see certain things like that. And even when I'm in the schools and I'm seeing different issues, like, kids show up based off their experiences that they have at home. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's always a deeper reason why. And sometimes people don't have that same mindset where, like, you go beyond the surface or go beyond face value, like Elder was talking about in her leadership through art program. They don't look beyond face value, and sometimes we gotta sit and ask ourselves, like, why is this happening? Why is this kid crying every day? Why are they screaming? Why are they upset? Why are they having behavior problems? Like, because it make you see things from a more empathetic standpoint. Like, if you understood why, you even took the time to understand why something is happening to somebody, then you could help them not fix what's going on, but better cope with what's going on, or find a solution to what's going on with them. But you got to take the time out to ask yourself why, instead of just like brushing things off. Like, I don't know, for me, sometimes people don't see things unless it start affecting them. But sometimes we got to see things from other people's perspective before it happens to us. Like, we got to be aware too. Like, sometimes, like, I think I'm a little bit guilty of doing it, but like, when we were supposed to, like, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, like, it would be very hard to like sit and look at those things. But I also know that I have to be aware of what's going on around me. Like, even though it's overwhelming, or even though it's a lot, and even though it's difficult to see, it's like I need to be aware about everything that's going on around me. Because also don't want to be in denial or delusional either. Like, if we being real. And it's really important to be resilient, or being able to bounce back from those situations that's difficult, because, like I said, you still have that end goal in mind, and you still have to be able to have an impact and show up and show out. So say, for example, like, I'm supposed to have a guest, right, on Winning Wednesday. I'm just saying this as an example. I'm supposed to have a guest on Winning Wednesday, right? And I prepared for this guest to be on Winning Wednesday. So I didn't plan anything to talk about or anything like that. Well, that's not me. I still plan as if I'm doing stuff by myself sometimes, just in case anything falls through. But say I didn't prepare. So the person don't come. So now I'm on Winning Wednesday, like, we doing our check-ins and all of that, and the person don't come. So in order for me to actually keep going with Winning Wednesday and not end it short, I have to come up with something. So being resilient means, okay, not saying this is the best thing to do, but improvise, freestyle it. Like, okay, I know earlier this is a topic that was really hitting for me. Let me go ahead and talk to people, see what they think, get their thoughts, have somebody else hop on it, even say, y'all, look, if y'all want to talk about this topic, hit me up for the link. Y'all get on, because sometimes things are just not going to go how we, think they're going to go. Like, you may think somebody have a certain level of reliability, or you may think somebody is going to come through, but sometimes we just got to expect the unexpected. Like, because if you just drop the ball, it's like, all right, now what? But let me read some of these comments, and hopefully I was making sense, because sometimes I know what I'm saying can kind of be confusing, but all right. Okay. Gemma said, having it helps with completing tasks or dealing with difficult environments and conflicts all the time. All the time, y'all. Dawn said, perseverance and resilience are very important, because no matter how hard we try, there will always be obstacles and things deterring us from what we want to achieve. They help us strive and be better. And two, one thing that I'm kind of getting from these comments is that you can't focus on the things you can't control. And that's something that you kind of sometimes learn more difficult, but you can't control things that you can't control. So, like, if somebody is acting in a certain way, or somebody doesn't show up, you can't control that, but you can control how you move forward. So you got to think about you. And sometimes, it'd be like, it's easy to say focus on you and not focus about outside things, because it can really get chaotic. Things start taking up space in your mind, but you had to, like, talk to yourself and let yourself know, like, you still have to get things done, even if somebody isn't there to, do their part. Still improvising, adapting, and going along with things. Like, sometimes things are going to be really difficult, and they're not going to get any less difficult. You just learn how to deal with them better. Bless said, some sort of like change, maybe. Can you elaborate on what you mean? I won't be confused or say not understand what you're saying. I think I said hey to Asada, but if I didn't, hey Asada, Kai Asia, yes, I hate getting up early too, all the time. Reality said perseverance is something that you need to learn how to do. I use it every day by just getting up to go to school, catching up on my grades, and pushing through something that I don't want to do. And yeah, y'all can kind of name some more of those examples of things that y'all really don't like to do. And I'm going to sit and flip some of those things to make it more manageable, I guess you can say. Because like I said, you just learn how to deal with things better. Don't already know. Super fed up. Bless said nobody can beat her in there. I'm not even y'all now. Y'all know I'm behind in the comments because now I don't even know what I said. I need to get my life together. Really said if I was doing so much work like her, I would be too. Perseverance is needed for growth. Yes, we can't be comfortable. Be comfortable. We can't be comfortable. We gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Really, that's what I'm talking about. What has the world come to? It's like I don't know. I would like every time I'm in the school and I see something or I hear something that I don't know, just don't seem like it's supposed to be normal. I be thinking like when I was in elementary school, was I like this? Like, was my class like this? Like, was they cursing or like was they fighting a lot or like how was my teachers? Like, I be really sitting back and reflecting. Like, you need to reflect on certain habits that you have too in order for you to kind of learn how to persevere or learn how to be resilient. And you can't just let yourself get knocked down easily. Like, that's what it's like all about. Now imagine yourself, you in a storm or whatever, and like it's raining like super bad, but you still gotta be to a certain place by a certain time. Like, you're weathering that storm. Like, you making it more chaotic, and by the time you get, less chaotic, but by the time you get there, like, everything is gonna be all right. Fatima, I think you the next one. Before you judge someone's anger, understand their hurt. And that's exactly what I mean by empathy. Like, sometimes you could see somebody be real angry, and it's about that thing like Miss Joni talk about is emotional intelligence. Like, sometimes people are gonna be angry and it might seem like it's coming at you, but you can't take it personal because it had nothing to do with you. Like, it's underlying issues. Like, it's always a reason why people don't just do things just to do them. So you have to kind of think about those things and put yourself in those shoes and also be sympathetic to how people feel as well. Okay, so Antonio said when George Floyd died, a lot of our people came together for that movement. That's definitely true. Reality said, perseverance for me is like stepping out of my comfort zone, and I don't do that as much. And you definitely got to always take some risks. Like, even when it came to that Voices on Vex challenge, I'm not a rapper or a writer, anything like that. But I still put myself up there. And it was a little uncomfortable for me just seeing people repost my stuff and like my voice. Like, I'm definitely like how Gemma is, how you are talking and you go back and watch your stuff or anything like that. You hear your voice, it's like, oh my God, like that's really my voice. Bless said when you mentioned about how things are not going to get any easier, you just know how to deal with it better, and when you actually try, you're going to go through the obstacles that you never been through. Yeah, and that's too with that gap about like learning how to deal with them better. Like, you got to realize that there's some people that have more experience than you or have dealt with a situation before, and you got to be willing to ask for help. And sometimes you also have mentors that just notice that something may be going on, and they'll reach out to you and let you know some things that you can change. But be ready and willing to rely on support. And I know that's something that's really been difficult for me because I go through a lot of like different things, and it's like sometimes it can be hard to like reach out to somebody and have them like rely on them. Like, I don't know, being dependent on people for like certain things, like even though you have to, sometimes it's like really hard. Like, Because I'd rather be like, yes, I can do it all by myself. And sometimes you spread yourself thin by wanting to do everything, so you gotta ask for help. Okay, that was for the perseverance. Oh yeah, nobody can beat Miss Joni in the Jews. Like, if y'all want to do that, make sure y'all go to sleep at like, if y'all waking up at 6, go to sleep at like 10 o'clock every night if y'all want to beat Miss Joni. And sometimes it's crazy because Miss Joni only be getting like 5 hours of sleep and she still be making the Jews look, like she got shea butter or whatever all on her face. She be glowing. And I'm like, ma'am, it's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, how? Always willing to take a risk. Like, I feel like that's how you grow. Like, sometimes you don't know how things are gonna play out, and that's one of the things that really be making me uncomfortable, like not knowing a person's response or their reaction, like especially when you having those hard conversations, like pushing yourself to do that sometimes too, because sometimes it's like you'll be a little bit nervous to talk to somebody about something that's difficult, but you still got to in order for your relationship or friendship or whatever to like still be good afterwards. That's what I'm saying. Undefeated with the Jews. Yeah, me too, Naeem. I definitely remember when he did the over the 100 Jews. I don't know where he been at now though with the Jews. Right? Unnaturally, like it's something that's just like blessed her to make jewels as early in the morning. The only time when she don't do jewels is probably like when she on vacation or something like that. She never skips jewels, and it's just like you always can rely on it. Like that's what I'm like. Miss Joni give everything early in the morning, like, and y'all know a lot of Miss Joni stuff is like relevant to any situation that somebody going through. Like, I don't know. I be when be like knowing different things that could be going on, especially when all the cuss outs was going on. I'm like, yeah, Miss Joni definitely talking about the cuss out from yesterday. Like, it be stuff that's real and it's real time. So I really love that. Bless, I'm dead. She like, don't be surprised if she posts one at 4:35 a.m. Y'all be prepared. Yeah, Miss Joni, I'm gonna just watch it when I get up though. I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up when you post it. I'm so sorry. Like, there's no way she not a superhuman. Miss Joni is definitely a superhuman. Like, I don't know how she do all of the things that she do and still like stay sane, like, and stay calm. Like, I feel like dealing with kids, like, I don't know, we not kids like as young as elementary school, but we do have a whole bunch of different things that be going on with us that make it like, dang, like, how do you deal with everybody's stuff? Because I know everybody be beating down Miss Joni's phone, like texting her, like, how can you help with this and how can you help with that? But even with that, like, she has to be resilient too, and she has to have perseverance. Like, when she shares her experiences and is transparent about like the things that she goes through, like with the heartbeats, but with like outside things and like how she able to push through, like stuff like that really inspire me, and that's why it's important to have mentors to kind of fill in that gap, like with those experiences, like I was talking about before. Right, super real. Dawn is hilarious though. Let me see if there's anything else. Gemma, 2 hours is nothing. Stay there for the whole day. One day, stay there for the whole day if you ever can, and you'll be tired. So one day, I went in. It had to happen within the last 2 weeks because y'all know I wasn't home before this for real like that. So one morning, we doing late passes or whatever, and this lady, it's 9:45. School start at 8 o'clock, right? So Elder, like, I wish Elder can come on and tell a story. We was telling a story all day that day, I think. Or it was one of these days we was talking in every Lyft and every Uber. But, like, it's a war zone. Like, you go into school and, like, you might come in with a clean mind. Like, you like, yeah, like, you gonna kill this. Like, you trying to affirm yourself. And then you going through the day and it's like, you getting, like, a left hook and a right hook, and sometimes you get an uppercut. Like, Yeah, she definitely tell the story so animated, but you have to definitely be resilient with that, because parents, they might be coming in trying to cuss you out in the morning. They might not be patient even though they brought their child late to school. You got times where a child is crying, like I be in the kindergarten classroom, and it might be somebody that's trying to hug me at the same time that somebody is crying and screaming or banging on the door or wilding out on the floor or taking their shoes off. And like in my head, I'm trying to process it all, but I'm also trying to be as resilient as I can be, because sometimes after one situation happened, it's like, oh my god, like I need to go home. Like I really want to go home. Like I can't handle this. Like for real. But then I had to remind myself, like I'm here for a reason, and I know these teachers need help. I know these staff need help, and that's why I'm here. So I got to remind myself of my purpose, but at the same time, it's like also be aware of how things are making you. Elder, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Crying, yo. You be feeling so many types of emotions. Sometimes you be angry. Sometimes you be frustrated. And I guess that's a part of anger too. Sometimes you want to cry. You feel sad. Like it's so many things that you have to sit back and think about, or how things are affecting you for you to go back and still do your job the right way. So like even still, um, the thing that Elder talking about is one of the kindergartners. He was like, basically his teacher told him to sit down, and we know normally he cries like every day or most of the days, right? So he what happened, he got told to sit down by his teacher because they are doing bathroom break at the time. So he like sit down, cross your legs or whatever. She giving out the husky bucks at the time. So after that, I'm trying to think what happened. That's when she sat down, but then he like turned around, so you can kind of see that something was about to happen. Hey Lamar, you kind of seen that something was about to happen. So then he ended up getting up, he stormed off, and then he ripped up the husky buck like Incredible Hulk ripped it. Like he just got it, threw it in the air. So then we taking the other kids back to the classroom for real. We take him back to the classroom. I think he went in the classroom, but he had his head down and he started crying. But when I'm telling you, this is not like no regular, like normal kid cry. I guess what the crocodile is like. He's literally wailing. Like people can hear him upstairs, they can hear him downstairs. And I don't know, some of the teachers kind of, I mean, not teachers, staff kind of see it as normal because it happens so frequently. But his teacher said it started happening a couple weeks ago, for real. So still trying to get to the bottom of that. But as a result, right, somebody had to bring him out of the class to put him in the hallway because they trying to learn a new lesson or something like that. And the other kids in there, and they can't hear because he's screaming so loud, like he crying so loud, and he's not engaged in a lesson or whatever. So somebody come, take him out. They try to say it nicely, but they end up having to pick him up to take him to the hallway. So after that, they went in the hallway. Like I said, you can hear it upstairs and downstairs. I think Elton might have came up because she heard it. And we was also talking about this student like other days because we seen it happen before. So she came. I guess she was trying to help him or comfort him. And it was really bad. Like he was smacking the door because he was trying to get in. Like, I want to get in there. Stuff like that. Because he want to be in school. But I don't know. It's kind of like blurred lines. So he's still outside banging. It probably was at least 45 minutes. They called his mother. We waiting for his mom to come in. I think Elder tried to get him a cup of water. She tried to get him a cup of water and an ice pack because he was banging his body against the wall and the door and things like that. So he didn't take the water. The water was in her hand. Like she said, he smacked the water out her hand. So once she smacked the water out her hand, I think that's when it got real sad, child. But yeah, one day we gonna have to talk about Matthew A. Henson stories. Like once the school year over, June 15th, I think, I don't know if that's a Wednesday or not. Maybe around that time or like in July, because I think we have a guest for like all of June. We can have a reflection on things we learned in McJ Henson and some of the experiences. Because look, we not built for tough. Like sometimes you really gonna have things that you face during the day that you really gotta bounce back from. Because other kids need us. Like with that situation, I'm in a class to observe him. Like I made that my mission. Like me, Elder Lamar was talking about it. I made that my mission. So Elder had her kid, Lamar had his kid, I had my kid. Well, I'm not gonna say his name, but that's him. So I'm trying to observe him, stuff like that, talk to him and stuff. And I made a deal with him, y'all. I finally got to talk to him because the other day I tried to talk to him, ask him his name, and the girl told me his name, and he threw the peanut butter jelly on the floor, and he flipped the chair, and he started yelling at the girl. So today I got to talk to him. He told me a little bit about his brother. He told me his favorite color, and he told me, because I don't be eavesdropping, but I be observing. So I heard he like Beyblades. So I'm supposed to be doing that on Monday if he be chill for the rest of the week. We shook on it. So I don't know. Kids definitely take it serious when you owe them something. So I'm hoping that when I'm not there, everything cool. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. He slapped the water out her hand, but he also called her a liar. So like when he screamed and he say other things, like, and I mean, I guess that kind of reflects how he feels too in a way, because it does sound like he's in pain. When, come on, no, I don't be eavesdropping. I be observing. Like, you know how you watch something from a distance, but you also overhear something. I be, So yeah, but it's definitely been a challenge with working, volunteering there too, yo. Like, y'all know how a lot of things we get paid for. Like, this is something that I'm just doing because I love my community, and I know these kids is gonna grow up and they're gonna be our age and they're gonna be doing something, and it could be negative or positive, but now it's like on us to determine what path they go on, like what they're gonna be exposed to. Like even when it even when it comes down to me and heartbeats and stuff like that, they like, why everybody come down here is from Heart Smiles and stuff like that. So they get curious and stuff like that, and we want to explain to them, about leadership, about why we are in the positions that we are, making good decisions and stuff like that. But anybody have any specific questions about how to be more resilient or how to persevere better? And I don't think nobody also dropped in some of the things that they're dealing with now that they may have to persevere from or be. I be trying to be like literate and all that, but like resilient against. It might not be correct, but we gonna go with it. So, do anybody got any questions, or situations that they want to talk about? Because I know sometimes we don't be sharing stuff with each other, but we all kind of going through that same thing, like for real. Like, I mean, it might not be in the same caliber all the time. Like some people may be going through things that may not be at the same exact magnitude, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's less important, but it's just like small scale or like bigger scale, like different situations. So, okay, so school getting picked on, we gotta come up to school. Cause look, elementary school is stressful, but I know middle school it gets tough too. Like I notice a lot. Like kids have been real mean, like so mean, and I'm like, I don't know what is like possessing y'all to be mean. Like I'm kind of thinking it's like home life and stuff like that. Cause sometimes, or most times, if somebody's picking on somebody else, it's because they're insecure within themselves or they don't love themselves. Not to put it as harsh as that, but I mean that's the truth. Yeah, I mean, if you need us to come up to school, let us know. But talk to me on the side. How about that? Since if you don't want to talk about it on the live, talk to me aside from this, and we can talk about what's going on and stuff and how I can help and stuff. Ride reality. What school name and what time you get out? So we can have a little talk, a stern conversation, as the elder would say. But yeah, y'all. Any questions, concerns, anything like that? And to y'all, I'm gonna talk about some more of my situations. So y'all know I put the Chaos Smoothies form out like 3 weeks ago. I put the Chaos Smoothies form out. I won the grant in like April. So I got the blenders. So I've been like looking at my form every day as much as I look at the little leaders form or whatever, them signing up for that. So I have no sign ups for Chaos Smoothies, like none whatsoever. I've been talking to a lot of people, trying to like, network and even trying to look at some of the little leaders that I have, like if they would be interested, stuff like that. But I have 0 sign ups. And like, of course that can kind of cause you to be unmotivated, I guess you can say, because it's like, dang, like I'm making this program, I don't have no sign-ups, like who I'm gonna teach for real. But I'm at the same time, I'm real hopeful, and I'm just gonna change my approach. Like, you always gotta look up instead of down. Like, it's gonna be things that get in your way or obstacles, as we was talking about, and you still gotta figure out how you're gonna push through or get to the goal. Like, I know I really want to help you, and no matter, right, discouraged, you don't, like, things are gonna happen that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, it's a good program, they're gonna get paid, I'm gonna provide everything, like, this is the type of program that I would want. But I'm like, maybe I'm just not exposing people enough. Like, maybe I need to change my approach. Maybe I need to talk to different people, so they can interact with my stuff more, and I can have some youth that I can help. But I know the youth, like, I don't know, people that's younger than me, I don't know, I have a big heart for my community. Like, so many people look at Baltimore City and like it's like a lost cause, but I don't know, I got a lot of hope for what we can be. Like, y'all know how like a lot of the cities are like not staple cities, but cities that like people always want to come to, like for vacation and stuff. Like, people go to Atlanta, go to Houston, Dallas, places like that. I feel like if Baltimore had more things here, then more people would be willing to invest in us. But because there's so much things kind of like negatively portrayed about us and in the media and stuff like that, it's like, all right, like, why would I want to come to Baltimore or stuff like that? Or why would I want to stay in Baltimore? Like, people have dreams, and it's like, what can I really do here and stuff like that? So I don't know. What y'all think about that? Like, how do y'all think Baltimore has built up your resilience or your perseverance, like being in the city? Because I feel like Baltimore is like a place that's like no other. Yeah, I know I don't like talking to myself. So if there's not no comments in here, in a couple seconds, me and y'all, I know where y'all be at, and I know what school y'all go to. Yeah, Elder, we already know about that, but I hate when people say there's nothing here for them to, like, I feel like they subconsciously gave up on what's going on, like, in the city, like, and I also think it's also about the culture. Like, sometimes people don't necessarily hear that there's things in Baltimore, or that there could be things in Baltimore, like hope. That's a big thing. Like, people don't hope for there being more in the city. And I really, I want people to kind of have a spark in them, for them to know that it's going to be things here, or even us making more things here. Like, I think they're supposed to be putting more community centers and stuff here, but like, some people don't even think about community. It's like, it's just them and them only. Like, they only think about themselves and how, you know things could benefit them here. Okay, let's say because it's our own against us more than others. And I know I know, like, it was kind of like designed that way, but like, I feel like you gotta have awareness first to see how we got to where we are. Like, when we first thinking about black people during times of enslavement and stuff like that, like even down to like colorism, like people, house slaves or people that's enslaved that's in the house versus people that's enslaved in the field, like the darker people were outside while the lighter people were inside, and like it made people think like, like we competing, like, but whole time we all enslaved, like we all going through the same thing, we just in different places, like it's not better or worse thing, like this is all a messed up situation. And people would say that stuff like that from before have nothing to do with now, but like it's really just evolved and what it looks like we still have that crab in the bucket mentality where we're not necessarily seeing like if we collaborate, we can do something 10 times better than if we did it by ourselves. But like people really don't see like that, and it always seems like it's a competition, and I really don't like that. Hey, Sane. Jimmy said it's make me want to prove people wrong. Definitely, like one thing I didn't necessarily realize, but that I realized when I left home, like being in Atlanta, is that I think I might have realized it when I was home too, but like getting a full ride and like, like being black and being at the top of my class and doing as much as we doing now, like that took a lot of work. Like sometimes it really looks like it could be easy, but I think about like times where, you don't go to sleep because you got to do your assignment, or times where I wasn't talking to people at lunch so I could do my assignments. Like I was so destined to want to be at the top so I can get that full ride so my parents wouldn't have to pay for anything. And like I really did that. Like it really shocks me, like when I sit back and look at like accomplishments, even accomplishments y'all make. Like I'm saying that y'all able to do some things younger than when I started actually like getting out of my shell. And like I'm so proud of y'all because like we sit here breaking generational curses, and sometimes I know like our families and stuff might not be supportive or might not even see the vision, but we just talking to the wrong people. Like when I used to talk about chaos smoothies, like to my family and stuff, like they wouldn't really be too supportive. Let's say that. Like when I first was starting, it's like, just a little hobby and stuff, but people only comfortable with seeing you at a certain spot or a certain position. Like they only comfortable seeing where they think you should be at. For real. And you gotta think beyond that. And you can't let telling your vision to the wrong person like discourage you from where you want to go or where you feel like you're destined to go. All right, let me see. Okay, reality said it's always something here for them. You just had to go find it. And some people not looking like that. It's like, all right, things messed up here. Let me go somewhere where they got something else going on. So I don't know why that specific thing is. I gotta sit back and have a own little reflection for myself. But when people see it's a problem in one place, they just leave. Like they don't wanna have a challenge, or they don't wanna try to make a solution to the problem. They just see, oh, it's a problem, let me dip. And I don't know, I'm just not that person. Like I always see more than what's in front of me. Jimmy said like it gives me an undeniable drive for success, right? And it's like if you want things to be better so bad, like be on your stuff as bad as you want to, get out of here or anything like that. And also too, I don't know, maybe Elder can go on her rant with love one day on Winning Wednesday. But if you love like your family or you love like certain people in your community, like you have to act with love. Like love is an action word, period. Like you see it more than you hear it, if that makes sense. So I don't know, you got to kind of think about things from that perspective when they looking at Baltimore. Like I don't know, but a lot of people I feel like gave up hope on like being in the city and staying here, and it's definitely hard. But I think a lot of times people leave because it's the easier thing to do. Like I'm not a person that's always going to do the easier route. And if everything was easy, like how would you grow? Like so if you was in Baltimore, you gained absolutely nothing from being in Baltimore, like your mindset was messed up. I feel like I learned different things every day from being in Baltimore. Elder, that's not what I meant by the love rant. No, we would not feed a red. No, we would not have a pet red. Bless said, see, it's hard. Like, you want to do the things that have never been done. You think and you think and you think. And then when you see something that someone did that you didn't even think of, it's like, why didn't I think of that? Then you feel unmotivated and give up. And another thing you can't do is compare your success to another person's. Like, because you get easily discouraged when you be like, dang, they started that business. I ain't start my business yet. But you in a process of planning your business. Like, everybody has their own time. And like, sometimes people don't see it. And that's where that competitive thing start kicking in people's head. Not saying that's you, Bless, but people will compare what they going through or what they got to other people's stuff. And if you like, ooh, they got more stuff than me, it's like, now you in your head like you competing against them, but whole time you competing against yourself, trying to be a better you than you were yesterday. So y'all got to think about that too. Lamar said, I feel like they haven't been exposed to the things that's supposed to motivate them in life. And seeing your success and seeing her smiles really motivates me. Like, when Miss Joni talk about her story about how the Freddie Gray riots inspired her to create her smiles and leave the corporate job, but she was making good money. It's like, look, you can have a good heart and you can do something that you really love and still be like comfortable. I guess having comfortable living. Because I know, Miss Joni be having, she be well kept, got her Jordans on, always got the Horse Smile sweatsuit on, always have a smile when I see her. So I feel like you can still be happy. My ultimate goal is just being happy too, and it's spreading that impact too. Like, cause sometimes people don't think about happiness; they might think about just money or stability or whatever the case may be. But overall, I just want to live a happy life. Like, if I'm making $25,000 and I'm doing something I love every day, like, I'm successful. That's it. Thank you, Sane. Saint said, gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Definitely. Naeem said, I feel like when I do things I never done before, I often get nervous, but I always heard practice makes perfect, so I always think the good out of it because at least make me acknowledge a lot. So yeah, definitely, if you get in a spot where like you doing so many different things, like you kind of scare yourself. Like, you like, dang, I just won this grant. Dang, they just asked me to host this event. Like, dang, they asked me to mentor, stuff like that. Like, you gotta really sit in your head and remember who you are, but it also get uncomfortable because it's like so many different things that's changing, but you really growing. Like, that's what it is. Bless it, I don't care if I'm sleeping in my car and I'm that happy, man, as long as I'm making it figures. And yeah, like, we do want to think about our stability and everything like that, but like I said, happiness is my main goal, and sometimes that just mean like going up every day to the school, even though them kids, it be on you, but it be like, when they say, hey, Miss Cam, will they give me a hug and stuff, like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, like, I'm doing my job. And sometimes, yeah, it make me uncomfortable because that pressure, like, I think Sane was talking to a facilitator group about this, but like, when I think about how I'm like a mentor or like being a friend to some of y'all and stuff like that, well, not some of y'all all family, but like, when I think about those things, it's like, dang, like, that put pressure on me because it's like I'm really making an impact in this person's life like this. Like, being a mentor is not something that I take lightly. Like, I know I need, to do what I need to do. And sometimes my advice might not always be like top tier, and I'm going to do the best that I can. So, yeah, y'all, this is about to wrap up the session for today. For Winning Wednesday, we do have Haya coming on. We have a session, and I'll let them introduce that themselves. But my jewel today is when things get hard, use it as a learning lesson. I think that was my jewel from yesterday or today, one of them. But when things get hard, use it as a learning lesson or learning tool. We live in Baltimore City, and we know things are always seem like it's going wrong, or people portraying us in a certain way, but we know who we are, and we know that we can use these things as stepping stones in our journey and where we're supposed to go. So I love y'all. I'm about to let our people in so they can have their session, and yeah, I'll see y'all again in 2 weeks. Coach gonna be on next week. Go ahead, take it away, Gemma.
Thank you, Cam. All right, y'all. So this is our last session. Well, the fucking internet. Hey, y'all. I already heard how y'all day was going, but if y'all want to tell me again in the chat, because we have Dr. Train here with us today, so we can go in for a little check-in before we start. But today is the last session for our COVID booster series with Haya. So I'm pretty sure this is not the last time y'all gonna see Dr. Tran, but this is our last session for this topic. And we just gonna wrap up some stuff today. It's gonna be a quick session. We're gonna give y'all some resources and just leave y'all with like some reminding like facts and just like a little refresher. And then that's gonna be it. So Dr. Tran, how are you? I haven't seen you in like a month because that was when the last session was. So
Yeah, hi guys. Good to be back.
I know Sydney should be joining in a few, but this session is going to be short because we have to get up at 7:30. So, and it's not many questions. So I can start with the first question, which is just, are there any new like updates with like COVID, like the vaccines? Is there any like new booster shots we got to get? So like just like pretty much any updates like
Yeah,
COVID related.
yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm not in my office. This is my home office. Um, just got back from vacation with my family. It was my first trip with both of my kids because my youngest was 6 months when COVID hit. So she has never been anywhere outside of Maryland really much, pretty much. So we got on a plane and we flew to Chicago. So it was really cool just to get out, and it was really cool to see, how my kids were like going somewhere new. So coming home, so this is my home office. So the question about, what are the updates with COVID? I thought, especially since this is the last session together, that it would be good to kind of do a summary, and along with that summary of all of the recommendations for COVID vaccines, I can kind of put in, what are some of the new changes that have occurred. So that way we're all on the same page. And if there's any questions that pop up from that, I can answer some of those questions. So one of the big things that a lot of medical experts are talking about right now is what are called subvariants. So right now we have the Omicron variant, and interestingly enough, Omicron's mutations, they're like really tiny mutations that are occurring in Omicron, and they are calling those subvariants. And those subvariants are causing some of the increasing spikes in the COVID rates that we're seeing across the nation. So about in March, April-ish, we were pretty much across the country in really low COVID rates. So we were in green. So they kind of have colors like green, yellow, orange-ish, and then red if you have really high COVID rates. And in the last probably 3-4 weeks, we've seen that slowly increasing because of that Omicron subvariant. So a lot of parts of the country, including Baltimore City and even where I live, which is down in like the Silver Spring, Montgomery County area, we're both in orange now. So I think it's important to kind of keep that in mind as we move into the further months. Who knows what that will look like? Those subvariants are very similar to Omicron. So they are causing increasing cases of COVID, but overall, the general severity is still pretty low. But don't take that as like, oh, we can all get kind of like cold-like symptoms. It's good that we're getting mild disease, but again, keep in mind that it's not great to be sick, right? So we want to try to avoid getting any amount of sickness that we can. For vaccines, I don't remember if the last few times I've been on here, I've kind of given an update on where we are with our vaccines in terms of FDA approval. So our vaccines a while back, they were through what we call the emergency use authorization. That means that they've been studied enough for emergency use because we were in emergency, we're in a pandemic. But actually since then, both Moderna and Pfizer's vaccine have received full FDA approval. So Moderna received their full FDA approval back in January, and Pfizer actually got it way back in August. So they, with that full FDA approval, that means that they've been extensively tested. There's enough data to show that they are both safe and effective. Some new things that you might have been hearing about is that there's a possibility that we'll have a vaccine, a COVID vaccine, for children less than 5 years old. And so Pfizer has a potential 3-dose series for children, and then for Moderna, they actually came out with some data, and they only have 2 doses in their vaccine. They're hoping that that will receive approval in mid to late July if we're lucky. So I'll pause there because I already talked a lot about things. Are there any questions that those before I kind of talk about the summary of the recommendations for boosters and all that stuff?
Yeah, I had a quick question. That was a lot of information, and I'm glad you touched on a lot of the things because you definitely took the words out of my mouth from the questions that I was definitely about to ask you. But one of the things I really wanted to know, like, is there anything we should expect, like, as far as the season? Like, it's about to get really hot outside. Do you think the cases are going to go up? Do you think they're going to go down? And do you think, like, we should practice more or less social distancing, like, based off the weather? Like, what do you think about the seasons?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know, for flu, they think the same thing, right? Like we have like a season of flu. It usually occurs in the winter time and kind of goes down in the spring. And a lot of people, a lot of medical experts and scientists are thinking that COVID might be seasonal, but think about it in this sense, because we don't really think of it as seasonal. We think of it more like because in the wintertime, we tend to be indoors more. And that increases the risk that we would transmit to each other. So flu, yes, it's seasonal, but it's seasonal because we all tend to be inside in close quarters with each other. And that's the same thing that they're thinking for COVID. So for both of those, will there be increasing risk of COVID when we get towards the winter months? Probably. And that is because we're inside, we're indoors, and also because in the wintertime, we travel more because of the holidays. We tend to see more people. It's also important to keep in mind in terms of like masking and social distancing is the flu, which usually has gone, you know, really low at this point. Usually flu peaks in the winter season and then goes down in March, April. We are actually still in peak flu season, which is kind of bonkers, and I don't know why that really is. It's kind of like a medical mystery, but so people are still talking about the flu. We actually had a whole case of the flu with my kids' daycare. So it's just happening right now. The cases of the flu have not gone down. We're still in a peak. So I think it's important to continue to try to mask and practice social distancing, especially because we're getting towards the colder months. That was a great question. Do you want me to kind of continue talking about maybe a summary of the COVID vaccines, Sydney and Kima?
Yes, that was the next question. Just definitely a refresher before we like close out soon. Definitely a refresher on how important it is to be vaccinated or boosted because I haven't got boosted yet because I'm just not sure if I want to go through like the vaccination like process of the shot and all of that again, even though I'm fully vaccinated, because it does take a toll on you, and booster just sounds like it's gonna take even more of a toll on me. So, but definitely reminding people like how important like masks are and getting a vaccine and getting boosted if they haven't yet. Because I know me now, like saying like the spike in cases, even though it's not large, but just like hearing people saying like, "Oh, I've tested positive and stuff," I've like started to wear my mask more, or just like if I'm in a crowded area, I'll wear it more. So I've definitely started that more. So just definitely banking on more of that importance of those safety precautions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I think I even mentioned it the last time I was here that I had really bad reactions to both of my vaccines. And I was like, even on my second one, I was thinking, man, can I really do this like constantly for booster shots? But for me, a big part is, you know, keeping my family safe. My dad's 80 years old and he has a lot of disease states. And my kids are too young to get vaccinated. So that's a big part of why now, especially since we're in Orange, I've been wearing my mask more and thinking about getting my next booster. So yeah, so in terms of vaccines for children and adolescents, so 5 to 18 years old, the main vaccine you are recommended is the Pfizer vaccine because that's the only one for children. And it's a 2-dose series that you're recommended to get. And we actually recommend to get a booster dose at least 5 months after you finish your series, which is that 2-dose series. The newest thing that has happened, it actually happened this week, the FDA has come back and said that they're eligible for the booster for the 5 to 11 years old. So now, moving forward, probably by next week when everything gets official and it's written, that means anyone 5 years old and up, that's pretty much anyone that can get their vaccine, is eligible to get a booster at least 5 months after they finish their initial series. And this is especially important, thinking about why you want to get your booster. It's really important because, especially with those case spikes in Omicron and everything, it's really important to get your booster because your body forgets about how to protect itself and recognize the virus, especially with all these new mutations. So I think it's really important to get your vaccine. For adults, so anyone 18 and over, it's recommended actually now to only really get the mRNA vaccine. So that's the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. I know in previous times I've talked about getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as one of the possibilities, but now the FDA is coming back and saying, hey, the mRNA vaccines are available. There's not a shortage of those vaccines, and it's just a safer option. The Johnson & Johnson has some reports of getting clots, blood clots, so it's just safer to get it. They do say now, if you are, adamantly opposed, you don't want to get your mRNA vaccine, you will only get your COVID vaccine if you're going to get the Johnson & Johnson one-dose shot, then yeah, go ahead, because the benefits of getting the vaccine still always outweighs the risk. But if you're okay with the choice, it's better to go with the mRNA vaccine. So my recommendation is if you haven't already gotten your vaccine or you need to get a booster, to go with the mRNA vaccines. So that's the newest thing that happened just about a few weeks ago. It is also recommended to get your booster. So boosters, like I said, is 5 months after you finish the initial series. And then there's actually a second booster, which has been pretty quiet. We haven't talked too much about getting a second booster shot. But the second booster shot is actually recommended for those who are 50 years old and older, or those who are 12 years old and older who have a lot of diseases that are considered immunocompromised, so their body doesn't really do a good job of fighting diseases. So those are people who have cancer or HIV, stuff like that. So those are kind of all the new recommendations.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. And you definitely touched on like some of the stuff that I also talk about, like people who aren't able to like get the vaccine because of their medical problems. Like I always spread that awareness as well. And like one of the things I also wanted to talk, and I know you emailed us this, but I wanted to see if you were like just talk more on the resources you have about that people can use to get vaccinated, boosted, clinics and stuff like that. Because sometimes people act like they don't know where to go for it. Like I know, especially rapid COVID tests and things like that. Like people were like, this is starting to become scarce. This is starting to become like, I can't find any, and it just caused people to have an excuse not to get it, or to be like, well, I don't need one if I can't find one. Some people out here like that. So like, where can we get some of these resources at in order to stay safe, protect our family and friends?
Yeah, absolutely. So a big thing that people have been talking about is called test and treats. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Test and treat is kind of a government, so started from President Biden and down, so it's been helping on the state level and then to the local level. This allows, the test and treat option is basically that, instead of going, let's say, to a drugstore and getting a test and going home and testing yourself and going, oh, I'm positive, what do I do now? I have to go back and see my doctor and all that stuff. So many extra steps. The test and treat is a one-stop shop. So basically, you go to that place, wherever those places are, and there's a link that I sent to Sydney that has the one for Baltimore City specifically, so it's easier to find. There are 50 test and treat sites in Maryland. I didn't count how many were specifically in our Baltimore City. So basically, for those, you go there, you get tested there, and then if you are positive, they will do a medical evaluation for you right there and then. And then if you, let's say, have high risk conditions, might get sick, get more complications to COVID, then they will give you medications. They will prescribe it and fill it right there at that pharmacy or that medical facility. And you can go home and get that medicine. The medicines, all of the medicines are for high risk people who could get a lot more complications to COVID, who could end up in the hospital or might potentially die. And usually to take that medicine within the first 5 days of getting your COVID symptoms. So it's really important to try to get tested early, so that way you don't get complications, but also that way you have the possibility of getting this medication. They're talking about in hopes that this medication can be more widely available for more and more people. That will allow us to move from pandemic to what they call endemic. So it's kind of like the flu, where if you get sick, you just take some medications, you can stay home, and you'll be okay. You won't have to go to the hospital, potentially die. So that's one of the main resources that I sent, is that test and treat website. On that same site has a list of where you can go and just get COVID tests if you want to be able to take those boxes home and test yourself. where you can get medications, where you can get your vaccines. Also on that list is just like a website, vaccines.gov, which allows you to look for like where you can go that's the closest place to get your vaccine. You can pretty much go to any pharmacy. Almost all pharmacies now are doing COVID vaccines, and they have all the options usually available for you. And then also in that same resource, if you don't like going to the website or you need something really quick, you can actually use your phone and text a number. So it's 438829, and you text that number and you put down your zip code, and they'll actually pop up three, I think it's three, I haven't done it in a little while, 3 nearby locations, the closest ones to that zip code, where you can go and get your COVID vaccines, which I thought was really cool and easy to do. The hard thing is like remembering the number, right? I wish that there was like an easier way to remember that number, but that's a possibility as well. And if you haven't already, you can actually get your COVID, those antigen tests delivered to your house. So we're in our 3rd round of doing that. So if you didn't know, you can actually get 3 sets now. Each house can get a set. So I think the first round was that each house could get 4. The second time I think it was 4 also, but now it's 8. So you can get 8 additional tests this time around. And that is in anticipation for the potential increasing rates of COVID. Some of my colleagues at work were saying that, this is a good time to wait maybe a few more weeks and then get those additional 8 tests, so that way they don't expire before the winter season, and you can use them in case we have another shortage, right? Because there was a period where like everyone was trying to find tests and it was like going crazy and you couldn't find anywhere. So it's good to kind of have a small stockpile at home so that you can test whenever you don't feel well and see if it's just a cold or not, or if it's the flu. But you don't want to do it too early, because then they'll just like expire and then you won't be able to use them when we actually need them and there's a shortage.
Quick question, right?
Is the
Hold on,
expiration
real quick.
on the box?
Yeah, is it?
Because I had one, but I did not know that they had an expiration date.
Yeah. So I actually didn't know either, I'll be honest with you. So like then I had to test my kid one day because she had a cold, and I was like, oh shoot. So my suggestion is, if you have friends that also have boxes, you guys should trade, right? Like someone who really needs it should get, should use your box that's about to expire early, and then you can get a new box.
Oh, that's smart. Something that I really had though, something I really wanted to ask was, do you think
No, we can't hear you, Sid. We can't hear you. No. Okay, I did not know they had, because I just took the at-home test though. Before we had to take them before we came back for spring break. So yeah, I was like reading the instructions. I felt like a nurse. My sister was like, "You look like a nurse because you got the swabs," and I had to like do my siblings and all that. So.
Is it the orange box one?
Yeah, the ones that the school give us. So
can we talk about how the orange box is like the hardest instructions? Like,
it was so confusing. I didn't know what.
I'm a doctor and I had trouble. I was like, why is this so complicated? I know that those are free. So sometimes that helps. But the Bionax ones, the one in the purple and black box, those are like the easiest ones to use. There's like 5 instructions and not like 100 steps. Let me see. Hold on. Let me stand up for a second. Not doing a commercial, but these are the easiest to use. This one I have for my kids. There's only like 5 steps. Doesn't have like 100 steps, the orange ones. But I have orange ones because they're free. So
I gotta ask this though. This is what I was asking before it went out. But do you think that the rapid tests are less inaccurate than the tests that like the doctors and nurses give? Because it's like the COVID testing that happens at my school. We spit in the tube. This is different. Yeah, we spit in the tube and they take it to the lab and get tested, and our results come back in like a day or 2. And I just feel like that's more accurate than like the rapid test. The rapid test is like, it's kind of like a pregnancy test. Like you should take about 3 of them just to be sure. Like do you think like that's accurate, or do you think it's pretty accurate?
I think thinking of it like a pregnancy test is actually the best way to think about it. So the rapid test is not, as what the word we use is, sensitive. So if you are having symptoms and your body is making enough of that virus because you have it in your body, if you swab it, then it will come back positive. But if you just got COVID for a little while, your body doesn't have a lot of COVID. So when you swab your nose, there's not going to be enough of that virus on that swab, so it won't come back positive. So that's kind of what it means by being sensitive. So my recommendation is to not use the rapid test unless you are symptomatic. That's the best thing to do in terms of that, because that's when you know it's most accurate. If you have symptoms and you get a positive test on a rapid, then you're pretty much likely that you got COVID. But if you are negative and you take the swab, it might just be that it hasn't had enough time in what's called incubation period. There's like a period of time where it takes a while for the virus to get in your system and be able to show up on tests. So that's why it's better if you don't really have symptoms, or you want to have the best accurate test, then you need to do the PCR test, which usually you have to take it to a lab, and they do special stuff to it to come back to tell you whether or not it's positive or not. So the most accurate ones are PCR tests, but because they take so long to come back, sometimes it's not helpful. So like, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a period, right, when like there was a shortage of all rapid tests, and then any PCR test would take like 5 days to come back. I'm like, well, this is like completely useless by then.
Yeah, that was probably the worst time during this whole thing, because I would never forget, like, people still out at parties even though they just came for taking that COVID test, and their excuse is, I don't know whether it's positive or negative. You know, like, yeah, I just took my COVID test, but I get my results in a few days. I'm like, well, why are you talking to me? Why are you in this space? Why are we having a conversation? You don't know what your COVID results looking like. So I'm definitely glad we got the rapid test, because that was definitely an error.
Yeah, I get that. And it's also here because we didn't have rapid tests, right? So I think one, if anything I've learned from that period of time is to have a stockpile at home. Not too many, because then they might expire before I get to use them, right? Also to find areas near you that does PCR tests, because like I had to go and find a place that could do it, and would come back like at a decent time, right? Like, so my insurance tells me to go to this certain location. It takes 5 days to come back. It's completely useless. Versus some places like urgent care centers, they tend to come back a lot faster. So those are better for you. So that's really helpful. But definitely, if you are testing, if you're going to test, you're waiting for tests, you should stay home. That's my best medical advice. So that way you don't accidentally spread it to others while you're waiting for your test.
Oh, and just one more thing, take advantage of the test that we're able to take at school, because I know that's like super reassuring for me. Like, I don't have to go nowhere to like all out of the ordinary to go get a test. Like, I can just take it at school in the morning and get my results back. So that's just like the easiest thing for me. And they let you know, and I can just go home. I like being home, but I don't like being home because I have to catch up on stuff. But definitely take advantage of the test that we're able to take in school. Go get tested when you need to, vaccinated or not. I know sometimes like I forget, but since I can go any day of the week down, like I just go down and get tested when I need to, or if I forgot that week. So definitely take advantage of those school tests that they offer, because they help a lot when you're not sure if you need one or not, or if you're not able to get to one because you're at school, or if you don't have transportation. So them school tests really do help a lot. So take advantage of them.
Yeah, and another thing, you never know when you might need a negative result um documentation. Like, it's been so many times where like I had to go to an event, and they're like, yeah, well, we need a copy of you having a test done within the last 3 days and it being negative. And I'm like, good thing I take my test at school, because I can just access it through the portal, send a screenshot in, and you can see my test is negative. So definitely, like Jim said, take advantage of those testing opportunities. And I like going because it gets me out of class. Like, when they announce it, like, yeah, if you want to come take your COVID test, it's optional, but still should I'll be the first one down there. I absolutely will go down there and take the test. Yep.
Well, that's pretty much all, y'all. We about to wrap it up with some jewels and some last minute messages, and all the information that we talked about tonight with Dr. Tran. We will put it all on like a little like Google form or doc that'll have a QR code to you. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be posted on Voices on Bags page and the Healing Youth Alliance page. So if y'all need that information, y'all know it's gonna be everywhere. So don't even worry about it. So we're gonna get that out to y'all by like tomorrow or sometime before the end of this week. And definitely want to give a big thank you to Dr. Tran for being on here with us through these sessions. And even though we had to like reschedule them and all of that stuff, we got them through. And I feel like a lot of information and different conversations took place through each session, and that it definitely was necessary during this time of like COVID, like being like on and off. So it was definitely needed and was helpful. So we definitely appreciate you, Dr. Tran. We will be seeing you a whole lot more because we still need your advice as a medical professional. So we can close out with some jewels. I can give mine first. So I think I'm gonna just say, wear your mask, even though the cases might be low. Even if we're in the green, if it's a crowded area, slip it out your pocket, put it on for a little minute. Definitely in those crowded areas, but definitely just remember to wear your mask if you're in a crowded area. If not, if you feel comfortable not to, then okay, but definitely practice more, wearing your mask regularly or just in those high traffic areas.
I think Dr. Tran is frozen. She frozen?
No, I don't think she. I think she was just waiting for you.
Oh, okay. My bad. It's late, y'all. It's been a long day. My jewel is definitely, first of all, my jewel is actually, it's like kind of the opposite of yours, Gemma. It's like respect people's decision on whether or not they want to wear the mask, because like, these are different times now, and the mask is optional whether you want it or not. So even though like I'm guilty of this, like try not to give people the stink look when they cough near you. They might just got a little cold. They might just got something in their throat. They might got allergies. We got to remember that stuff outside of COVID exists and try to get back into that mind state. But like Gemma said, don't completely throw away the mask. Definitely still keep it on you, and just keep your hands clean, because that's like the quickest way to spread germs. And yeah, just stay safe all around.
So it's been really, really great being able to be here. So thank you guys again for allowing me to come. The last two times when I was asked this question, I feel like I always talk about, where you can get your, look at resources and empower yourself. But I'm going to end this time on talking about an article that I had read on, I think it was on Facebook, about the power of choice is that you can be a duck or an eagle. So if you get up in the morning expecting to have a bad day, you'll rarely disappoint yourself. So stop complaining, right? So like, don't be a duck, don't quack around and complain. Be an eagle that soars, be an eagle that empowers yourself, be an eagle that makes your own decisions, and have an eagle life ahead of you. So thanks so much again for letting me be here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tran. We really appreciate this session. It's been so informative as usual. I didn't expect anything less. And I'm gonna always keep that quote and put it in the chat, Fab.
Yes, but that is all we have today, y'all. So we're going to see y'all next time on one of these higher sessions, because y'all know we had plenty of them and they just pop up at random times. So just be on the lookout, because they're usually at the Winning Wednesdays. But thank y'all for being on here with us tonight. We're going to get those resources to y'all by the end of this week. And another thank you to Dr. Train. And that's it. So see y'all.